remember you said that you mostly grew up with with a lot of girls, and not so much you didn't have like the male as many male connections. What would you say is some of the most important things about women that you've learned that kind of gives you be able to like just interact with any woman in a in a non-romantic way?
I can recognize their power, right? I believe that women are incredible beings. They're especially ones who in tune their the power of intuition, because a woman can see things a man can't see. Right, right. And I think that my the greatest thing probably is that I know that since I recognize their power, I know what they can bring to the table. Be it uh, not personal or anything like that, but be it whatever they're trying to achieve, things like that, and a lot of my business clients are female because they have this idea. They just need a little guidance, things like that, So it works out for both of us.
Yeah. If you were to try to summarize women into like the best way to understand how someone works, like they have a more complicated, but it's like you really think about it, it's like whoa, it's going all over the place, but also it's like wow. So how do you see that a lot with differences, or is it just based on the person?
Yeah, I see that a lot, but I realize that on who came up with this term, but I love it. Um, Happy wife, happy life. But going a little deeper than that, women, I know they are emotional, but I believe, that that if you know your role in that relationship, things are a lot clearer, because the Bible, which I believe, says men love your wife, show that love, be loving to her, whole 9 yards, right? Women respect your husband. As a man, you want respect way more than you want love, because she respect what you're doing, respect your goals, respect where you're trying to go. It a lot smoother transaction. So my wife respects me for what I do, and I just shower her with love. I'm the love devil guy in the relationship, right? So I'm the one that does that. So yeah.
What's your definition of love and what's your definition of respect? Doesn't have to be a dictionary definition, but just like your personal interpretation of what those two words mean.
Love, I think, is attraction, right? I think respect is more of obedience, meaning you yield into something, and I think that the love part, that's what's going to give you initial attraction, things like that, things like look you visualize on, right? But respect isn't visual; it's just what it is. Yeah, it's obedience. Yeah.
So what's the difference? Because when I think of obedience, I also think about all the people who are like people pleasers, and they're always trying to suck up to someone else.
It's just the opposite.
Okay.
It's just the opposite. You think about it, it's disrespectful for one, right? To them and yourself. Because you doing things just to please them, uh, um, you're showing a false narrative, meaning that you trying to be somebody that you're not.
How do you find the best person? Because there's like everyone has their problems and everything. How do you find someone has who has problems but also are kind of like self-reliant on themselves, so they know they have those problems and they're actively working to fix it, rather than just telling people that they're trying to fix it but don't actually do anything towards it?
Well, if you think about the latter thing you said, telling people that they fix them, not really doing anything for it, that shows. That shows. But someone who identified their problem, but they working, and it's showing their work ethic, right? Because you can have a problem, say with, with alcohol, if you will, right? Right. That a problem like that is going to clearly flow over to your work life, right? Either your appearance or your focus, your goals is going to suffer from that, right? So I'd rather have a person who admit to themselves, for one, and then admit to me and say, you know what, I do have a problem with this, but this is what I'm doing, right? As long as you got a plan, you my man, you know?
What's the difference between working actively trying to fix something and then kind of elongating it and like being and procrastinating over it?
That's why I believe that the goal is not important to you. Having resolve not important to you.
Usually when you're in the process of personal development, you're trying to improve yourself, trying to fix your, or either fix your problems or come to terms with them. You have to lose some part of your personality. So I feel like if were, you spoke like really racistly or you were like sexist all the time just for humor, kind of have to break that off so that you can make room for a more honest, more like appealing conversations. Is there, in your mind, is there a difference between letting go and a difference between kind of losing yourself?
Yeah, and the caveat between those two things is pride, right? Pride is not pointed inward. Pride is something people recognize on the outside, right? It's other people's job to be proud of you. It's not your job to have pride. You know what I'm saying, right? So I don't know if you get that, but it's I think that's one of the things that 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 give people a false hope because they want to hold in their pride so much because look at me, I did this, I did that, right? Dude, it's not about you. Right, right.
So what's the difference between being too prideful and being and not letting your ego slip? Because there's like you have your self-esteem, which is partly derived from having pride in what you do, and then you have your ego, which is kind of who you see yourself as.
Well, I think it's self esteem is your starting point, right? That's your motivator there. Okay, I can walk 5 miles a day, right? Right. You care about that, right? But I think your ego is a fuel, right? What keeps you going, right? It's okay for ego, right? I believe, but like I said before, those are tools that's only uh, you dealing with, and not to be broadcast to somebody else, though.
Okay. So if ego is the fuel, what would discipline be?
And the mindset,
Mindset.
right?
Okay.
The mindset, yeah.
Okay. So it's you have the ego which fuels it, and then you have discipline which structures it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Okay. So it's
mm-hmm.
like so you have a car. The, your ego is the gasoline, and then your discipline is
The
the
engine,
engine.
yeah, the engine.
And then what would humility be if you were to add that into it?
That's good. A cruise control, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not going too fast, yeah, because I think it's a lost art. People, in general, from my perspective, right, it's not humble anymore. They don't need all the recognition, all the whatever, because you decide to do a job, you decide to reach a goal, right, and you think that you should be boastful because you did it, right? That wasn't your goal for me to do it. I wanted to do it.